In the shed, later that night, the fact director was reprimanding Alfred, as Alfred had attempted to take Gordon and Henry's life in Wellsworth with fuel tankers. This had gone awry as he was switched onto the opposite track. Realizing a mistake, he slammed on his brakes, just as Edward bumped up behind him and caught him. The fat director told him that he was to be sent back to the mainland the next day. Alfred was furious. How dare he replace me when the engines here have treated me like a rat? Perhaps I can help with your situation. After hearing this, Alfred looked around the yard to find the source of the voice. But when he saw down the tracks was a shock to him. There, puffing down his way, was a small red tender engine. No markings and no number. The only thing you have to do, dear chap, is just trust me, and I'll take care of the rest. After hearing this, Alfred smirked. He knew that this could possibly be his chance to be on the fat director's railway. Quite well, dear chap. Just hold still. Alfred was just about to ask when he saw the engine backing up. He realized what was going to happen. He shut his eyes tight as the engine rammed into him. The next morning, Alfred woke up with a heat sensation in his firebox. Realizing it was the next day, he thought what had happened to him the previous night was just a dream. He knew he had to go back home. But he felt strange as he puffed out of the shed, as if something was different. When he got out of the shed, he looked to his side and gasped. He was no longer a B-12, but some sort of hybrid like Henry. A wave of emotion came over Alfred. He didn't know what to think. Then he remembered the dream. It was an engine with outside cylinders. He was enraged, but he couldn't figure out how he could change like this, and overnight as well. So he just went to pick up his goods train back to the mainland. Later that day, he left with his goods train, with Gordon and Henry staring at him as he left on the other platforms, never knowing he was near Alfred. Years later, on the island of Sodor, life had adjusted to a somewhat normality. Robert, I say, Robert, where are my coaches? I need them for my express. Just then, Edward and James pulled into the station and dropped off their stopping passenger trains, where another engine would take their place. Never fret, dear Gordon. I have them right here. Just need to get them out of this siding. Just then, Robert came into view with Gordon's express coaches as he moved them to platform 1 to couple them up to Gordon. Alright, Robert, easy does it. I know, driver, I know. I know what I'm doing. I've been a shunter for years now. I know, just want to make sure you still know. You humor me sometimes, driver. I know. Express coming through! As Gordon leaves with the express from Knapford, we can see him traveling to Lower Knapford and traveling to the Vicarstown station. Oh, how I wish to be an express engine, but such is life. A week after beginning this story, an engine arrives on the island, pulling a mixed traffic train. He arrived on the island beforehand, for he was Alfred. Yes, the engine had survived and was now owned by the Fat Controller. He arrived at Tidmouth Square and dropped off his passenger train, where he was later instructed to head to Knapford Station to wait for a goods train. Right, 98462, you have a goods train at Knapford Station. Can you please take care of that? Will do, sir. And he left to Nafford Station to take care of it. Later that day, Alfred saw Gordon and Henry at the sheds near the station and pulled up right beside them. They looked at his side and read the number 98462. The Chameleon Engine got you, didn't he? Alfred was shocked. Not even his own brothers would recognize him in this new form. Wait, who is this Chameleon Engine? And how did you recognize me? It's basic maths. Your tender has your number. And to answer your question, it's a bit of a mystery where he came from. All that anyone knows about him is he's existed as long as railways have. And he's been hiding in plain sight, taking us and mutilating us. For example, me and Henry during our rebuilds at Crew. But we have to end this madness. So Alfred, are you in or are you out? Alfred couldn't know what to say. He was silent. That night, the enterprising engines roared out to see the Chameleon Engine. Just outside of Elsbridge, they had found him and slowed to a grinding stop. It's good to see you again. However, I do know your intentions, and I have a plan to make sure they don't happen. James, what is it, Thomas? Look. Just then, Rosie, being pushed by one of the Chameleon Engine's minions, came trundling down just behind him. If you want her the same way she is now, I suggest you listen. They took very wisely to that. And then, out of nowhere, a whistle blew. Alfred came racing in, coupled up to the minion, and dragged him back. Oh, no, you don't. Thomas couples up just in time, just as the Chameleon Engine touches the points. You fool! What have you done? I'm about to end all of this, you son of a... But before he could end his sentence, he slammed into the Chameleon Engine center. Gordon, move! No, please, he begged, as he was shoved into the tunnel and fire roared. The engines raced back to try and help Alfred, but they were too late. However, in their hearts they knew Alfred was a hero. That morning, Gordon and Henry looked upon the remains of an old tender, with 98462 still seen on the side. Gordon and Henry looked at each other, wondering if they could have changed anything. But soon they remembered that Alfred had sacrificed himself for the greater good. And with that, they headed back to work. But soon, a familiar face would make an appearance on Sodor once again. But that is a story for another day.